Hey, what's happening everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Just quick look at all those boxes there. We are packing up, getting ready for a move, and I'm up to my eyeballs in cardboard. So everything is just brown, like brown cardboard everywhere. Hence why I've left my Lego flowers out to kind of give some colour to the room. But enough of my Lego foliage. I want to talk about a topic that could be quite relevant at this time of year. This time of year is usually one where people are going on holidays, taking a break from cycling, and transitioning between 2024 season, 2025 season. Cyclists are a weird bunch. I am a weird person. I consider a year to be like October to October, or November to November, because that's when my cycling season is. It's not January to January. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm making a generalization. Let me know in the comments down below. But this time of year is quite important for a number of reasons. I want to talk about two of them in this video. One is, now's a great time to reset, take a break. Most people, if you live in the northern hemisphere, you'll be in this period now where, unless you're really deep into Zwift racing, of course, you'll be as far out from your summer targets as you possibly can be. But also, point two, you will be in a prime position to look back at what you've done in 2024 and to jot down some metrics, some important information, bits and pieces, look through your feedback, and create a plan for 2025. Now, I've been working with the riders that I coach over the last couple of months, and we've been looking back at what 2024 has brought. And it's all part of self-evaluation, looking out for red flags, looking out for green flags, I suppose. And this allows you to get a much better idea of what you could be capable of, or what you can make the most of when it comes to 2025's training. And it doesn't have to be as daunting as it sounds. Like, just go through some of your training and just pick out certain things that you think worked. Look at your feedback. Like, don't think you have to make a 10-page spreadsheet of like the most data you can possibly find. It's very easy to overcomplicate it, but it's also a very important part that many people overlook, because you can easily go from week to week, month to month, and sadly year to year without actually having a plan. And it makes me quite sad, because even if you just have a rough strategy, a rough plan, whether that be hours, whether that be mileage, which, you know, is not the best metric, but it's a metric all the same, training stress score, or actual performances. It just can be something very, very simple, but you just need something to give yourself some direction. Some of the key metrics that I like to look at are things like total training hours. I like to make a note of like the annual training stress score, the peaks from chronic training load and acute training load, looking to see, you know, where the peaks came, what was the consistency like, you know, what sort of sessions led to the peaks in the power profile, for example, where your training stress balance might well have fallen when those performances came about. As I said, make a note of some simple things to begin with, and maybe over the course of a couple of weeks, take a bit of a deeper dive into your data and see what you can dig and find. Depending on what you did this year, and depending what you have planned next year, you know, there can be a fair crossover. If you're training for any Gran Fondos, you might be looking at, you know, what your fatigue resistance has been like this year, you know, maybe what your best powers have been like over 2,000 to 3,000 kilojoules of riding before you've done those efforts. Maybe you want to improve those next year and you've got actual tangible goals to have now. You know exactly what you did to achieve those. If any of you were using, you know, a Whoop or Ultra Human or a Garmin or anything like that, you know, you can look at your HRV, for example, over the past year and sort of marry it up to your performance management chart on Training Peaks if you're using that, and see, you know, where the biggest workload came from in terms of TSS and riding time, and then see how your HRV responded to that over those training blocks. You can start to paint a picture of maybe what you're capable of doing, how your body responds to that, and also if you were leaving feedback on those sessions, you know, you're really coming at it from all angles. There's obviously lots more that you can go through, and, you know, having a bit of a document you can put together with screenshots or, you know, more of this data can be extremely helpful. And this is why I think this time of year is quite important, because we can go through the whole year, and, you know, myself included, where I'm going week to week, month to month, and I'm training and I'm doing work and, you know, socializing and getting on with my life. And then the reason why I like to have a little bit of downtime and unstructured training and have this period of time where I really drop my time spent on the bike is so that I can put a bit more emphasis on, you know, doing a season review, looking back and evaluating and being quite brutal and quite honest with, you know, what worked and what went well and what didn't work and what went badly in the past 12 months. Now for me this year, I had a couple of good performances, and, you know, I think I can pinpoint them right at the forefront of my mind. We had, you know, the Sacalobra personal best, which was a really strong ride. I think the Mont Ventoux Gran Fondo win was a really awesome achievement for me this year. And then finally, I think the breakthroughs I was having in the lead up to the British Hill Climb Championships, and then the performance at the British Hill Climb Championships in late October, was another highlight. But during the year, I had a couple of periods where I was hit by illness. One in July, which really affected my Switzerland Gran Fondo trip, which sadly I didn't actually get a chance to do the Gran Fondo because of illness. That lasted for nearly 2 weeks. There was one in January, I think it was, and then there was another period of time as well. But you can clearly see sometimes when you look back at your training and you look at the overall picture, you can see where you've had these periods of inconsistency. So really, at the end of the day, those periods of time, they don't help at all. You know, first of all, they break the consistency. They can break your motivation and your habits. And, you know, overall, you're just generally losing time that you could be spending training and improving. And you're not really recovering. So although you're seeing those periods as time off the bike, which me personally, if I'm quite ill, I won't ride. I generally want to stop riding, let my body recover, then I'll start riding again. And everybody's different. You know, some people, they just go out and they'll ride whatever, chest infection, flu, you name it, they'll still ride. But that's not for me. I stop riding, I recover, I let my body get back to 100%, then I get going again. Because I never view those sessions as quality sessions if I'm not 100%. If I'm not 100% because of fatigue, that's a different thing entirely. But if I'm actually ill, I just don't see it as productive training. But each to their own. Now, when it comes to this time of year, I've got an opportunity, touch wood, as long as I'm healthy, that I can actually take some time to recharge and recover whilst being healthy, you know? So that's why I feel like this time of year is quite important for me. But it doesn't have to be this time of year for you. And that's what I wanted to end with. Like, we're all different. and we all, train. Some of us train 200 hours a year, maybe. Some of us train, 700 hours a year. But our goals all come at different points in the year, and we're all training for different things. And it's important to realize that we're not all the same, and that, we all need a break now. I would say the majority of us tend to have a break now for various reasons, because of the holidays, Christmas, and the weather maybe. We just naturally end up having the break now. But if your goal is in July, and then you complete that goal, and then you stop riding for a month, or you take some time off structured training for a month, that's your time. Likewise, if you don't really have events and you're just aiming to improve your overall health and fitness by cycling and just training, and you're consistent all through the year, and you have, a couple of days off here and there, which is entirely normal, then you might look at it and you might think, well, we're going to go on a family holiday in August for like 2 or 3 weeks. No bikes. I know, sounds mad, right? But no bikes, and we were out there for 2 weeks, and that's my break. And that could be for you. That could be your season break. But I certainly think this time of year, or the time of year where you have that natural turning the page, have a look at things on a whole, look at things further down the line, maybe in the next 3 months, start putting a little bit of a plan together, and I'm sure you'll be in a much better place because of it. So that's what I'm going to end this video. Quick short one, quick one. Like I said, maybe I'll talk more about my training phases and plans as they come in the next few weeks, months, etc. But until then, we'll keep the videos rolling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.